Hi, today I'm going to be making dough for burek. So in my bowl, I measured out 800 grams of flour. I have 10 grams of salt. I have 120 deciliters of oil. And I measured out 400 deciliters of water. I'm not going to put all the water in because you can use anywhere from 350 to 400. So I'm gonna let this mix a little bit and see if I need to add more water. All right, so it does need a little bit more water. Usually you need a little bit less water in the summer when the humidity is really high. So we're gonna let this mix a little bit more until it forms a ball. All right, so it's been mixing for about 5 minutes. The dough is nice and soft and smooth. I want to take it out of my mixing bowl. And I want to do a little quick hand knead. The dough is soft where you can press into it, but not too soft where it's sticking to your hands. All right, so we have our dough, and now I'm going to cut it into 6 pieces. All right, so I'm going to cut it into 6 pieces. Kind of want to feel and make sure they're the same. Okay, and then you're going to take your dough, you're going to form a little ball. And in a pan, I put oil in it, cover the bottom with oil. And this is the pan where you're going to have your dough balls rest. So you want to take your dough ball, you formed it into a nice little ball, and you want to put it in the oil. And then you want to turn it around. You want to get the whole thing covered in oil. Form it into a little ball. Put it off the side. And then continue to do it with all 6 dough balls. So all 6 dough balls are in the pan with the oil. You want to cover it with plastic, and then you want to put it in a nice warm spot for about 2 to 3 hours. And we let the dough relax so it'll be easier to pull out for your burek dough. I'm making the filling for my burek. It's going to be potato burek. So I have a half an onion sauteing, and I did a small dice of 8 potatoes. To my potatoes, I want to add salt and black pepper. And I'm just going to let that saute for a little bit just to soften up before I put it in my phyllo dough that I'm making. All right, so I let the potatoes cook for about 5 minutes. You don't want them cooked, you just want a little saute on them. I had to add more pepper and salt. The quantity of that you want to do to taste. So you definitely want to taste them and see how much pepper you want. I like a little bit more pepper than some people, so I do add a little bit more. All right, so I have a tablecloth down. You want to add flour onto your tablecloth so your dough doesn't stick. All right, so I have my dough ball. I floured my tablecloth. I'll put a little bit of oil on it. Smooth it in. You want to pull from the edges. and then you're gonna go to the center. If you do this at home by yourself, you just slowly pull from the edges. You can let it rest for a few minutes and it'll pull a little bit longer it will help. So if you just let it rest. All right, so it's been resting for about 3-4 minutes. And I have my trusted helper over here, and we're gonna pull this together. It's real thick over here, so I'm gonna pull from this side. We like to hook it on the corner of the table. Some people don't. Some people like to work from the middle out. It becomes personal preference as you start making this dough. You can see the dark, heavy, thick spots. I don't know if you can see it through the video, but there is a distinct difference in your dough. The dough is very pliable. It pulls very, very easily and stretches. So I want to finish my end of the table. Quinn, keep pulling. Get those thick pieces on the edge.
Yeah.
Just keep pulling the dough. There's a little hole here, so I have a little thick spot right here. So I'm just gonna pull it. I have a little thick spot. I'm gonna pull that. Because the thick spots don't get as flaky and crispy as the thin. And as you can see how far off the edge this stretches. Okay, so your dough is ready to start a filling, to put the filling in it. And you want to trim off these heavy, thick edges. Just take your hand, put it here, and it comes right off. You can repurpose this. When you get a whole bunch of them, you can re-knead them, let them rest, but knead very well. And you can make another burek ball, or you can make little dumplings. So I'm going to add my potato filling on one side. Since this is going to be our dinner, I'm making it very meaty, very filling. But your dough is thin enough where it will still be very crispy and flaky. So the filling's in. You want to take the edge of the cloth and you just want to fold the top layer in. And then as you take the cloth, you're going to roll it. You want to cut these ends off. And then I'm going to continue my circle in my pan. In between, you definitely want to keep them covered so it doesn't dry out. All right, so the pan is full. And what I want to do is I want to take some oil and I want to brush the top. You want to bake this in a 350-degree oven, 20 to 30 minutes till it's nice and golden brown. It depends on how your oven bakes. Okay, the burek is out of the oven. I'm just gonna cover it and let it rest for about 15 minutes before I cut it. All right, it's all done. And there's your burek.